Reddit. What is the creepiest experience you've had while alone at home?
I was sleeping alone at home. My mom was working overnight, sister at a sleepover. I locked everything and turned off all of the lights, but during the night I could hear light switches being touched, the floor squeaking, and banging on the walls, not doors. When I woke up, some of my lights were on in the living room. I thought maybe my mom had come home early, but no one was there. I still don't know what happened. Edit. There's really no explanation. Also, I live on the 3rd floor in an apartment, so someone climbing through the window is highly unlikely. Edit 2. My sister did have a key and was 12 years old at the time, but she didn't come home that night. Also, even weirder, when someone unlocks and opens the front door, it's very loud, and I never heard that during the night, so I don't think anyone actually came in.
My wife was out of town visiting her sister and took the kid and the dog with her. House to myself. I'm going to eat like crap, watch crap on TV, and crap with the door open. Basically, a bunch of good crap. The sun started going down and I was in sweatpants, binging through some DVDs. Next, I looked up and it was dark outside. I figured I should shut the blinds as I'm shirtless in sweatpants eating chicken wings. As I went to the first window, I saw a random dude walking up the front sidewalk to our door. I quickly ducked out of view. The TV was still going in full view of the window by the front door. The doorbell rings. Doorbell rang again. 2 more times. I then heard some rustling in the bushes underneath the front window. I snuck out, avoiding the view of the window, and upstairs to a room with a view of the front of the house. The dude was looking in the downstairs window. He could clearly see the TV playing. After a few agonizing minutes, he walked back onto the sidewalk and out into the darkness. I decided to stay upstairs and watch TV up there. Sometime later, I wake up on the couch. It was a little after midnight. I had fallen asleep watching TV. I ate off and heard the noise of the downstairs TV still playing the DVD menu music. Half asleep, I walked down the stairs. Turned off the TV. Hit the lights. Then walked back upstairs to hit the sack. I had been in bed for probably 15 minutes when the doorbell rings. I bolted up in bed, fully awake. The bell rang again. Then there was some knocking. I crept out of my bedroom and back to the room with a view of the front of the house. As I looked out of the window, I saw the same guy from earlier walking off the front porch and back onto the sidewalk going by the side of the house. I wondered what the hell was going on when I heard knock, knock, knock on the back door. The guy had to open the gate to our backyard to get there. My wife was always on me about not locking the back gate because our back door deadbolt wouldn't fully lock, leaving only the lock on the doorknob. I went to the bedroom and peeked out into the backyard through the blinds. I didn't have a view of the back door but could see the rest of the yard. After 3 or so more rounds of knocking, I see the guy walk back to the gate, open it, and leave the yard. I never figured out who that guy was. He was wearing a baseball cap, jeans and a t-shirt, and wasn't immediately recognizable. He never came back. I chalked it up to living in an area with rampant meth use. I'd heard similar stories of encounters with strange people wandering the larger community, but not in my immediate neighborhood. Needless to say, I didn't sleep the rest of the night. I rode out the darkness, sat upstairs with a softball bat and chef's knife nearby.
I was in my apartment alone watching TV. I'm sitting on the couch and I get a text message from a number that I didn't recognize saying, "Look to your right." I very slowly looked to my right, at the empty chair and the wall next to me, half expecting a ghost or serial killer to be there. Fortunately, the text was from an old friend who had changed numbers and was eating out. A woman at the table next to him looked so much like me that he thought it was me. I still called my boyfriend and asked him to come home as soon as he could.
One night, when I was still living at my parents' farm, I heard the most ear-piercing scream at, like, 1 m. Their closest neighbor is 1 kilometer away and it sounded like it was coming from right outside the house. It freaked me the F out and my heart rate didn't drop back to normal for an hour or so. I didn't sleep great that night. Found out a few days later that that was the night the neighbor's husband passed away from cancer. I've never told anyone this story because it feels like such a personal thing to have witnessed her raw emotional release of losing her life partner. I came home really late one evening to find that our hot tub had been uncovered with the jets left running. There isn't another house for 3 miles and we're over a mile away from the nearest road. I was working upstairs and home alone. I heard a huge bang from the direction of my front door, then heard the familiar door open chime from my alarm. Then my dog flew downstairs barking. I grabbed my handgun, one of only 2 times that I've done this, and announced from the top of the stairs that I was armed and, if someone was there, that they should leave immediately. No response. I came downstairs to find the house was secure, but I could hear shouting outside. It turns out the neighbors were fighting and the one guy slammed his front door so hard, it triggered my own door alarm, and frightened both me and my dog. The guy was a total asshole and this was one of the incidents that led to his boyfriend kicking him out. His boyfriend came over later to apologize for the ruckus.
Does it count if you have a child and dog with you? I was at my sister's house, babysitting my nephew, and he was about 2. He and the dog were laying on the couch and we were watching a movie. All of a sudden the dog jumped up to stand on the couch, growling, but moving his head back and forth, like he was trying to look in every direction of the room. Then my nephew got off the couch and went to the window, which had the curtains closed and couldn't be seen through, and just stared. After he did that, the dog also went to the closed curtain and stared and growled. I loaded up my nephew and the dog and went to my house for the rest of the night. Everyone that was ever in that house alone said that it was extremely unsettling.
My parents were out having dinner, just a normal day playing League of Legends. As I was playing, someone sneezed and naturally, I said bless you. I was alone at home. It took me 10 minutes to realize so.
The serial killer decided they couldn't kill someone so polite, and they left. This actually happened a couple nights ago. I was home with my 2 dogs and my 2 kids, but they are both under the age of 4. It was 9 p.m. and where I live, it is fairly dark by then. My son came up to my bed and woke me up to tell me that one of my fiancé's friends was at the door. I didn't hear a doorbell or knock, so I told him to stay upstairs and went to open the door. It was a man dressed in a security salesman uniform, and as I was half asleep in my pajamas, I was a little shocked seeing it wasn't actually our family friend. I step outside and the first question that the salesman asks is your husband home? Me getting an odd feeling, since our street is not a very busy street and we don't ever really get solicitors, was to tell him, yes, he is on his way, when in actuality he was 4 hours away working in another city. After many questions that at 9 p.m. seemed very suspicious, like, do you have a security system? Do you have any cameras? I started thinking about how easy it would actually be for someone to know that I am home alone most of the time. I tell the gentleman that I need to get my children to bed and right now is not the best time, and ask for a card, which he tells me they do not carry. He leaves, walking down the street, not stopping at any other houses. After being shaken up all night, I called the security system place in the morning that he claimed to work for. He was a legit salesman and that morning I set up a security system with them on the phone because of how spooked I was. Good sales tactic, I guess, because he sure scared the shit out of me.
I was at home by myself for the night. It was around 10 p.m. just playing a video game with headphones in. I was around 15. My grandmother called my cell phone and asked why I only breathed into the phone when she called the house a minute ago. I said I didn't answer the phone and she told me she wanted to see how I was doing, so she called the landline and I picked up instantly and didn't say a thing, but she heard me breathing and was wondering if I accidentally answered and didn't know. I checked and didn't even have a phone other than my cell in the room. Now at this point, I almost shit myself cause this is something that sounds straight out of a horror movie. I swear I had locked every door, so I sprinted upstairs and the back door was unlocked. I quickly locked it and ran outside and down the street, to my best buddy's house, and told him and his brother what happened. They both came to my house and we checked the whole house in a group, because we were all a little bit freaked out at that point. When we checked the back door, which I locked before I ran out, it was unlocked again. After we checked the rest of the house and confirmed that no one was there, we all decided to stay the night there together. Not much else happened. It was actually a pretty fun night of hanging out, so not a very climactic ending, but I still think about how damn scary that was, not knowing if someone was there or if I was just imagining it all.